All right, solving literal equations. So literal equations, we're just solving for a variable. So you are isolating whatever variable you need. So specific variables. So it's isolating a variable. So it's going to say x equals or b equals, and it's not going to be a nice, easy, pretty number typically. So like for our first example here, if we're going to solve each one for x, we got to look at where the x is located. Well, it's right here. The operations that are around the x, in this case, are multiplication and subtraction. So in GEMDAS, that is the order of operations. We got to live by that in math. To solve, you need to go in the reverse order. So first, if there's an addition or subtraction, you do the opposite. Then you do multiplication. That's typically about all we really need to do. So we do have subtraction. So that's the first thing we're looking here. Addition, subtraction. Well, we have subtraction. So we're going to do the opposite of subtracting, which is adding 5. The 2x we didn't do anything with. That means 2 times x. 13 plus 5 is 18. Then we have multiplication. So our next step is multiplying. You see our next multiplication division? Well, here's multiplication. It's multiplying by 2, so we divide by 2. We get x equals 9. Over here, do the exact same thing. We have subtraction, and we have multiplication. So we need to solve for x. You need to get x by itself, so this is what we got to concentrate on. So we're going to do the opposite. So subtraction is addition. And then it equals, we don't know what c plus b is, so we just write c plus b. And then it's times a, so we're going to divide by a. Divide everything by a. Just write a big division. C plus b divided by a. And we have the x solved for. Cool. So similarities and difference between the two equations. First equation, you obviously you know what x is going to be. Second equation, we have it set up so we can solve for x. The first one's x equals number. Second one is set up to solve for x, as long as you know c, b, and a. So it is set up. It is solved for x, but until we know what c, b, and a, we don't truly know what x is. So let's try some problems here. We have solve for h. Well, I'm going to kind of look at where h is. What kind of operations there? Well, it's multiplication. So opposite of multiplication is division. So we're going to divide. H equals a divided by b. And you certainly can write it the other way. H equals a divided by b. Next one. Oh, this is a good physics problem right here. So t, we're solving for t. We have multiplication throughout the whole problem. When you have multiplication throughout the whole problem, you can actually take this and divide by everything that's being multiplied. So p's simplified, r's simplify, and we get t equals I divided by p times r. Next one, solve for c. Let's look at what we have here. Here's c, and looks like we have a subtraction of x, so we get to do the opposite, add x. Well, m and x are not like terms, so we're just going to put them next to each other, m plus x, and it's solved for. You can put the c on the right side, or you can switch it around, c equals m plus x. Number 4, so looking where the m is. M is in the numerator. What's happening to the m? We are dividing by v. Opposite of division is multiply, so we need to multiply by v, and we get v times d equals m, or m equals v times d. Either way.
Good morning.
Morning. We have solving for h here. So let's highlight the H. And let's see what operations are attached to the H here. We have times B and times 1/2. We need to solve for H. So it's all multiplication. Let's take and we could divide by everything. That fraction, let's leave that fraction for a second. So we're gonna divide by B. We get A divided by B equals 1/2 times H. At this point, multiplying by 1/2, you could divide by 1/2. That's kind of, then you have a dividing by, and then a fraction is another division. So another way you can do this is multiply by the reciprocal, it's called. Multiply by the reciprocal, so 2/1. So multiply this by 2/1. And what that does is it simplifies. You get H equals, you multiply the numerator, so 2 times A is 2A. And 1 times B is B, multiplying the denominators. And there you go. That is really nicely simplified. So number 6, what are we solving for? B. What operations are there? Multiplication. So instead of dividing everything by 1/3 H, which you can, but it looks kind of strange, I'm going to divide by H again first. Oh, that's not an H. Divide by H first. And we have V divided by H equals 1/3 times B. Oh, sorry. And then the 1/3, we're going to do the opposite. We're going to multiply by the reciprocal, so 3/1. We switch the numerator and denominator. Multiply by 3/1. And 3, so with multiplication of fractions, you multiply the numerator. 3 times V is 3V. Multiply the denominator. 1 times H is H. Equals B. All right, on the back, we have M, solving for M. M is here. Morning. So let's look at the operations we have for M. We have times V squared, and we have a division, divide by 2. So we have everything is being divided by 2, so we need to move that first. Another way you can look at this is what operation is farthest away. Like if you were to start with the M, and what would you do order of operations? You would do whatever V squared is first, you times it by M, and then you divide by 2. So we need to do the opposite of that. So multiply by 2. So that's 2K equals M times V squared. At this point, we have multiplication. Let's do division. We're dividing by, I'm going to take all of it, V squared. That's just one term, or one variable with the exponent. The exponents can come with. So 2K divided by V squared equals M. And that's what we got. We solve for M. M solved for, M equals. Perfect. Let's look here. Next one, B. What is the order of operations to solve from B? We have addition. And then you'd have, so that's first, you'd have from B, and then we'd have division. Order of operations. Meaning, like, if I put a number in for A or B, C, and D, what would you do first? You would add first. So that's why I said first you'd add. And then you'd divide. So that'd be second. So we need to do the reverse order of that. So opposite of division is multiplication. We're going to multiply by, I guess that's a weird looking D, multiply by D. So we have D times A equals B plus C. And then, so now division's checked off. Now what's the opposite of addition? Subtraction. Subtracting by C. DA is not a like term with C, so it's just minus C, and it equals B. So number 9, solve for W. All right, let's look at W here. We have 2 times W. And then we have adding, and then the 2L, which is multiplied, but this is one term, so we're just going to look at it as one term, just 2L. So from the W, we have multiplication first, and then we have subtraction, or addition, addition. So then the reverse order, we'd have to do addition first, so take care of addition. we're keeping the w where it is. So what's added? We're adding the 2l. The 2l is positive, so we subtract 2l. So we have p minus 2l equals 2w. And then we divide by 2, divide by 2. We get w equals b minus 2l divided by 2. Solve for y. In the next one, let's check out where the y is. Here it is. We have multiplication attached to the y first, and then we have addition. We're adding that other term, ax. So let's do the opposite of that. We would subtract ax. A is positive. We don't know if it's positive or negative. We just assume it's positive. C minus ax. B is going to be positive because of the addition there. So it's going to be by equals c minus ax. And then it's multiplied by b, so we divide by b, divide everything by b, and we get y equals c minus ax divided by b. All right, 4 more problems. Solve for t. T is here. What are the operations? We have multiplication, and we have another multiplication, and then we have addition. So let's look at this. We have the addition was first, so what's being added? The p is being added, so we're going to have to subtract p. So we have a minus p equals p r t. And then we have multiplication, so I'm going to divide by p and r to move both of them, both the variables, so we can get t by itself. T equals a minus p over pr. All right, here's one that I've used in class with Celsius to Fahrenheit, or Fahrenheit in this case to Celsius. So if you're in, say, Canada and you want to change Fahrenheit to Celsius, here we go. So we're going to get the F by itself. So what are the order of operations? So first, from the F, you would subtract. That'd be first. Then you would multiply by 5/9. That'd be second. So we got to do the opposite of that. So multiplying by 5/9, to undo a fraction, you got to divide or multiply by the reciprocal, 9/5. So we get 9/5 times c equals f minus 32. Not too bad. Opposite of subtraction is add. All right, you got this. 9 divided by 5, 9/5 c plus 32 equals f. So if we knew the Celsius, we said 10 degrees, we could just substitute 10 in for c, and we would know what degrees it is in Fahrenheit. All right, number 13, y equals mx plus b. We're going to learn about this year. All right, some of you already know about this, so that's cool. So with the x, start there. The operation would be next to it, would be multiplication, and then it'd be addition. So first would be multiplication, add would be second. So from the x, order of operations would be times my m, then b, add b. So we'd have to undo this addition first, so that's first. So subtract b, so we get y minus b equals mx, and then opposite multiplication is division. So we're dividing by m to get the x by itself, so it says x equals y minus b over m. Oh, this last one, look at this. We have 2. We're going to solve for b sub 1. And we have b sub 2 there. Let's not be confused by that. So let's look at our order of operations here. From b sub 1, we have addition first. Then from there, after we'd add b1 and b2, then we would multiply by h, second. And multiplying by 1/2 also. So there's multiplication here and here. All right, so we have to do the reverse order of this. I'm going to divide by h first. We get, that is not an h. A divided by h equals, I didn't do the 1/2 because we're going to do something a little special with that. That's multiplied by the reciprocal. So 2 over 1 multiplied by 2 over 1. That way we're not dealing with a fraction and another fraction of a divided by h, and then it'd be divided by 1/2. That's just really nasty looking. So multiply the numerators. 2 times a is 2a. 1 times h in the denominator is h. And we can drop the parentheses because we are no longer multiplying by anything on the outside. So b1 plus b2. Now we have addition, adding b2, so we're going to subtract b2. And we have 2a divided by h equals, oh, nope, almost just left off what we just did. Good work. B sub 2, and that's going to equal B sub 1. Oh my goodness. Great job. Way to stick it through.